technologies on our side tonight. Yes, please work.
Okay, it says live on my end, so
are we live? Maybe I'm refreshing.
Maybe.
If we're live, you can see us. Hello, waiting to see what's happening.
I love technology, don't you?
I can't tell. I'm refreshing my YouTube link, and I'm just seeing the thumbnail image.
Okay.
Oh, so we're getting comments. I don't know if that means we're live or not.
Oh my gosh, I don't see comments. You see comments?
I see Lady Gizmo saying hello.
Oh, I saw that too. And she says, welcome back, Kelly. Oh my gosh, you're so sweet.
I still can't tell if we're live.
I mean, we must be, right? Oh, Julia said hello. Hello, Julia.
If we are live, hello, everybody. I can't tell what's going on. I mean, we could always chat over here because the link. We are live. Okay, so
you're live.
Opening. That was the most awkward opening of all time then.
That's okay. I like it was perfectly suited for like me being here. I play this game anytime I do a live video. I'm like, am I here? Are you here? What's happening?
So, I mean, I'm glad you guys are telling us that because I still have the thumbnail image. I will admit too, like I was Googling like chocolate chip cookies. Then I went into the Canva like stock images because I have the nice Canva, display of all their images or whatever. And I was like, there's the cookie. Like I couldn't decide on the thumbnail image. So I just see the cookies and our faces. I'm like, hey, cookies.
So good. Say cookies one more time because then I'm going to need like to go eat cookie. You know what? I actually had I wish you could like.
It broke. I was so upset right before the live stream. It broke, and I was like, "Oh, but it looks so cool." Until then, I was trying to get the picture of the cookie.
I wish you could send me some of those like through computer magic. But I did stay with a friend last night, and she made me cookies, and so I was very, very excited.
Oh, what a good friend! See, when I bought the cookies, because again, it's quarantine life. I had things delivered because. Let's be real, I couldn't bake what I had in this apartment. Like, again, shop. So I had them delivered and I have extra, so I'm going to bring them down to the front desk staff.
Oh,
it's nice my friend actually baked, though. I wish I could have done that.
Hey, that's okay. Spread the wealth, spread the happiness. Lisa says, Kelly, I like your screen name. Yeah, that's what I am. I'm all about my podcast.
You have the perfect voice. Okay, so I love how we just jump right on in. I love this woman, so it's very hard not to just jump right on in because she's so engaging. I just adore her. So Kelly over here, she is the fabulous hostess of her very own podcast. And if you are not listening to it and you are a romance reader, you're interested in the romance genre, you have to check it out. So I'm pitching your podcast for you.
Thank you. I wish I could take you along with me and you just like came on every episode. I'm gonna have you like record an ad for myself and just be like, and now here to speak on behalf of Boobies and Newbies, Angela.
I was so honored. I think this was almost probably a year ago. You asked to do the 1-minute book review, and I just read The Outlaw and the Lady, which is now one of my top 5 romance reads of all time.
Oh, nice.
And so I was like gushing about this book. I was like, perfect timing to do a review of something I recommend. Oh, it was great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was fun. I did that was a while ago now that I think about it. I should do that again. But oh my gosh, there's been so many amazing romances coming out lately. So if anybody is a romance reading fan, like I know Angela and I am, are good English. Come on, Kelly. And I've been driving a lot. I'm currently on a cross-country road trip to move to my new apartment in St. Paul, Minnesota. So I'm coming to you live from Lincoln, Nebraska, of all places.
I have no idea what's going on with the little guy. I love how as soon as we started doing this, he was on my lap. He jumped off. I gave him a new treat. The little Max, my little fur baby, is probably going to come over and say hello at some point. But
of course.
I apologize.
No, he's a cutie.
Hey, romance reading team. I just saw it says super romance reader. I know, I feel like there's a good kind of crossover between romance and cozies. So I was like,
I know.
Talk about.
Isn't that so funny how that works out? Like, I feel like there's so many readers of romance. And you know what? I've had so many guests on the show too, where we talk about how if we're not reading romance, we're reading mysteries. And that's so true for me. Like I was going back and forth between this book and Kennedy Ryan's latest book, Queen Move. So that's, yeah, it's a nice combo.
I was like, we kind of, so I put my book behind me. So I'm like, can I point and have it make sense? Like you got some romance in there. It wasn't as romancy as a romance novel, but we got a little bit of romance with Mike and Norman. Of course,
yes,
that's going to be one of the questions. Are you team Mike or team Norman? That's got to be a question for the commenters and everybody.
That's a good one. I like that.
Who are you, Norman or Mike?
Okay, see, it's hard based off of this book alone, but like having read some more of the books and watched some of the Hallmark movies, I'm team Mike, like all the way, for sure.
It was so funny. So hopefully you guys comment and tell us who you guys prefer. So I've seen the Hallmark movies so many times. I just think of Cameron Madison. Like I'm like, you are is Mike to me. And it was so funny when I read the description of Mike and they said he had a mustache.
And like reddish, it was like reddish blonde hair. I was like, hold up. Like, this is not the Mike that I grew up watching. Well, and also it's so funny. Tea with Danielle just said it's so fitting that I'm moving to Minnesota while reading this book, because let me tell you, I had the revelation of all revelations while reading this book. This is about a 29-year-old woman living in Minnesota, moving to Minnesota. I was just like, ah! So maybe I get to have a love triangle when I get there.
That wouldn't be bad. Having the dentist and the new detective, that wouldn't be bad.
Fine by me.
So either choice is, a good one.
Yeah, exactly. So I was having so many connections while reading this book, and I know it's 20 years after the fact, but still, it was very timely.
The little guy, he's eating his treat and he just let out a belch. I don't know if the camera, if the microphone caught that, but that was really funny. I mean, I can't picture Cameron Matheson with the mustache though. So the Mike in my head versus the Mike I was reading, there was a little disconnect, but he's still adorable. Mike is still so cute. Yeah.
I also wasn't picturing, it's Allison Sweeney is the one that does the movies, right? And I was like, when I read that she was supposed to be like 29, I was like, Allison Sweeney might be a little older than like what I was initially picturing. Michelle, you don't have to. My friend that's traveling with me is crawling across the ground so she doesn't come into the camera.
Is she your Lisa? Your little co-pilot? Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Is Kelly actually Hannah? Shaylee asked. Gosh, I hope so. I just have to open a bake. No, you know what? I can't bake like that. I wish I could.
That would be amazing, though. Maybe Hannah is your counter, like your bookish souls, like I don't know how to phrase it, like bookish soul sister, like bookish counterpart.
Yeah, maybe I should bake, and I just haven't discovered that yet. There's Michelle. Hi. Yeah, that's, you know what? Y'all got to get a friend that'll drive cross country with you, and you say, "Hey, we're bunking down in Lincoln, Nebraska," and they're okay with it.
I mean, I would probably be stopping like, that's a really good picture to take a book, like for Bookstagram. I'd be a very interesting traveling companion. So like, I'm glad you have your person who like understands you and your literary needs and, is there.
Yes.
I really do the hotel stuff.
I know. This is actually the second virtual book club I've done while on the road. So the fact that that's happened, let alone I've had someone to support me to let that happen, has been great.
Oh, she's your Lisa. She's your co-pilot. Lisa's from the book. Obviously, guys who read it know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, she was adorable too. I really liked her.
I was going to say my favorite person, this is a totally random moment. I have my little notebook where I take all my notes, was Claire, because I started writing down the prices. So I kind of want to know who y'all's favorite characters are. And mine's a random one, but she kept selling every dress in her store at cost. And I was like, the greatest saleswoman in the entire world. Like, I don't know. I don't understand how you make a profit with your boutique, because she had the $180 dress and she sold it for $90 at cost. I'm like, you are the most generous. I know she's a fictitious character, but I'm like, I love you. You're so sweet.
I mean, I said a similar thing about Hannah, is I was like, how is anybody in this town making a profit on their business? Because she keeps giving away cookies to everyone, which on the one hand, great marketing, but also like people gotta pay money. But yeah, I totally get it with Claire as well. With those dresses, that's a lot of money to like kind of set aside to sell the right dress to the right person.
Because she did it multiple times, and she was so sweet, going, "You really need this dress," and she cared about her as a customer. I mean, again, I live in DC, and so there's there are some streets that are just shops. And I remember one time I needed a nice pair of shoes, and this salesman was like, he was pitching me hard. He's like, "Well, I'd hate for you to walk out of here and miss out on getting these shoes." And I'm like listening to the stuff he's saying, and I'm going, "You really know how to pitch this, don't you?" Like, it was kind of taking a step back. But this one, she's so generous. She's like, no, I want you to have the best item that you need. I was like, she's such a minor character, but she just jumped off the page for me.
Yeah. No, and that's what's great about kind of like small town stories. And I know this is like supposed to be a small town like outside of the Twin Cities, and it's great when everybody is just so willing to give anybody information about anything and sell them. I was a fan of, I'm blanking on the name. Maybe it was Danielle. It was the one that sold makeup.
Oh, so Danielle was the one who bought it. I had to write this down because
right.
Too. It was Luann. See, on my notes, I wrote it down. I actually originally wrote in Danielle, and I had to erase it. This is why I took pencil, y'all.
Okay. No, that's good. And I was really bad. I should have kept more detailed notes. I did a lot of like post-it pages in the book, so I'll be flipping through as we chat.
Oh no, I only do it because, again, we always talk about the first book in a series, and there's always so many characters in a first book where you're like, I need to know your names. Because Luann, she was so cute too.
I liked her. And I like that she gave her a makeover.
My heart. That entire scene, I posted it on Twitter. I love this scene where Hannah kind of gave her sister, Andrea has the daughter Tracy, and she gave her the items. That just made my heart melt. I thought that was so sweet because she didn't want to hand out, and she's going, well, if you want to go through it and take what you want and give the rest to charity and organize them, that'd be helpful. And like, she pitched it on her feet. I mean, that was so sweet. I'm like, oh, Hannah.
It was super sweet. And I have to say, Hannah, I'm not sure if she's like the super nicest person ever, or if she's just the best manipulator in the world, because she could make anybody tell her whatever she wanted. She could convince anyone to tell her anything, like, hey, maybe you should tell me about this. You're not an officer. Why should they tell you anything? But she's got that thing that just makes her so approachable that anyone is willing to spill anything.
So I was writing that down after a certain point because her description. So I thought I actually put this on a post-it note so it wouldn't get lost in the actual notes. So I started writing this down. Her leather jacket was from a thrift store. She got her wooden wall clock, which was in the shape of an apple, from a garage sale. She bought a used set like Chevy. She got her cat. She took him in off the street. Like, she's very, she's trying to be good with her money. She's just, everything about her is just so approachable. Like, that is the word you use, and it's such a good one. Like, she's so down to earth, I guess. Like, she has that quality to her where, like, you want to be friends.
Yeah, and she's not out for the money. She's not looking to have like name brand anything. I mean, like, she wouldn't even go out and buy herself a dress or shoes or anything unless, her mom is making her, or it's being forced upon her by Claire. So, I mean, it is kind of refreshing, especially I can say after having lived in LA for 4+ years, that is, a city built off of labels and brands and everything, that it was refreshing to see somebody. And I'm like, oh, maybe this is what I have to look forward to in the Midwest.
It was so cute. I mean, I also kind of appreciated the fact everyone had different dispositions. So, like, she herself was like the grounded, down to earth sister, and then Andrea would probably be more like your LA girl there, who loved her high heels. She was very like, she wanted to be the working mom. She wanted her kid to call her by her first name.
That's very, very LA.
Do LA moms actually have their kids call them by their first name? Is that it?
I don't know. I don't have children.
As soon as I read that, I'm like, this is interesting.
Victoria said, I didn't like Hannah.
Oh, what didn't you like about her? I'm curious.
There were times I do and I don't know, maybe this isn't Victoria, but there were times where I was like thinking, she just, I don't know. I guess I just sort of like questioned the motives behind like why she needed to know everything. But I mean, that's kind of like the busybody crime solver character in a lot of stories. It's very Murder, She Wrote to me. You know, it's very much like, why do you need to know? So I don't know if that's what it was or what, but yeah, I love her, and then sometimes I just kind of want to tell her to put a button on it a little bit.
No, I kind of get that. So I watched the movie last night, and I think the movie actually, I have to give credit. So I posted this on Twitter if people preferred the movie or the book, and I think the movie really streamlined the narrative. But I think the movie, the opening scene between her and Ron was really, really sweet. And she was saying how they'd been best friends, or they'd been really close since they were in elementary school. So I think that motive of like wanting to find out how this, person she was close with, got murdered, I think that was a little bit clearer in the movie than it was in the book. So in the book, I think you're kind of like, oh yeah, I knew the guy, but she's still really going the extra mile.
Yeah.
People who are a little traumatized to explain things. So I kind of get it. Like if you haven't seen the movie or like have the other context in your mind, you're like, yeah, you just followed the lady to the bathroom as she's crying. Like you did that, right?
And you know what? Here I was.
She was like, your mascara is running. I was like, oh, the poor lady.
I know. Here I was thinking too that I had read. I remember reading so many of these books, of Joanne Fluke's books, years ago, and I don't remember this book. And now that we're talking about the movie too, I don't remember watching that movie. So it's so funny how I feel like I've read and seen so many of the Hannah Swensen stories, and this one, maybe it's just been that long since I've read it, but this one did not ring any bells, which was kind of refreshing because, it was a nice new read. I always love trying to guess a killer, so yeah, it was nice.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to talk about the killer. I mean, I'm like, save the spoilery till the, a little bit later.
Yeah.
You need to, you haven't read that far yet, but I definitely felt like I was reading it for the first time. Mm-hmm. I hadn't read this book in so long. Mm-hmm. Again, we were talking a little bit before we went live, and I totally forgot about Danielle and the domestic abuse situation. That was like reading it for the first time, because every time Hallmark has a Murder, She Baked marathon, I watch it, and her part in the movie is really minor. And I knew about the Gamblers Anonymous, like I remembered that part, but I totally forgot about the coach situation at home. And so I was like, Hannah, how do you save her? And we didn't get all that info. I'm like, I gotta go read book 2 now. I need to find out this woman, she needs help.
I know, I'm with you. It was something that it's like, I thought like very early on that they were alluding to some sort of like emotional or physical abuse within that relationship. And I was thinking, no, that can't be it. Like, that can't be, like, this is a cozy mystery. They've made these into Hallmark movies. Like, so I just kind of put that out of my head. And then when it came back, I was like, oh my God, like, I just did not think that's where it was going to go. And aside from that, there were a couple things that, knowing that this is 20 years old, I do feel like haven't aged gracefully. I felt like there was definitely some fat shaming going on in a few different places, both fat shaming of Hannah and Hannah fat shaming herself, which I was, I'm a fat woman, so I was like, that's not cute. And then there was one time where I want to say she used the word retarded at one point, which I was like, didn't see that one coming. So yeah, there were a few moments where I feel like, I don't know, I definitely remembered, oh, this is not 2020 that this is happening in. So I thought that was interesting.
My moment I totally remember exactly that, but one of the moments that really jumped out to me, and I was like, wait a second, hold up. Again, I agree with you in your moments entirely. I mean, I also noticed Andrea, she was a size 5. And I'm like, don't they go by 2s usually? So I'm like, are you 4 or 6? Why are you a size 5? I'm like, I was like, why are you announcing you're a size 5? But anyway, so the moment that got me was when she was talking about going to college and how the really pretty girls all either flunked out or ended up going into nursing. And I had that hands up moment, like, where's Legally Blonde right now? Hold up. What are you talking? Like, what? No. That's not okay to say that.
Yeah.
That one was really like jumped out at me. Like some stuff I think my eyes might glaze over or I might not catch it in the context, but that one was just so deliberately like, wait a second.
Yeah, it was and you know what was interesting is there were other moments where I thought that was almost trying to be like a little like progressive where like they mentioned that at the high school there was this whole program where you could work, you could try to pick up a trade and everything, and I was like that's really awesome. That's like a great way to show teenagers that maybe people don't want to go to college, maybe some people don't want to go for higher education and they can pick up a trade and everything. But I don't think that's what the intention was. Like it kind of just seemed like it was more of a throwaway. So that was a little disappointing. But yeah, jumping into. Huh?
I was going to say, I actually printed out the exact scene we were talking about. So the line was, of course, there had been a group of incredibly gorgeous, bubble-headed girls who turned male heads, but most of them had either flunked out or left to get their MRS degrees. And then it goes off to discuss her love life. But yeah, I didn't really appreciate that line. And then there's a couple, I mean, yeah,
Yeah, I see
agree.
a few people in the chat too.
I was going to say Hallmark did a good job like leaving some stuff out and adapting it a little bit more, because I think that's now 4 or 5 years old at least. So I mean, even then there's more to adapt and bring up to speed. But I'm kind of curious.
For sure. For sure.
Oh, Norman's dad. I can't read so we gotta that was totally, I forgot all about that.
There was a lot of stuff where, and I think somebody brought this up in the chat earlier, where it was just sort of like she needed more of a motivation for everything that she was doing. And I mean, Angela, you brought it up that in the movie, it was made clear that she was trying to solve the murder of a friend. So, I mean, I can get on board with that. And I feel like in this book, the one that was trying to like sort of be a motivation was helping Bill, her sister's husband, get a promotion. But I mean, that's so thin. Like that's such a thin motive.
So I wrote this down in my notes. So this is, if you're the actor and you've read the book before you actually get the movie script. So if you audition for the role of Bill, you're thinking you're getting a really juicy part with a lot of dialogue and a lot of lines, and then you watch the movie and he's barely in like 3 or 4 scenes like that. His character was really cut down, and Mike, I was actually keeping track. He wasn't, it wasn't, the idea of an outside cop coming in wasn't even introduced until the 36% mark, and then he wasn't even in the book until my 60% mark.
Oh yeah.
So they really like stretched his inclusion in the movie. But yeah, I think the motivation factor is definitely a little clearer for the film. But
yeah,
I'm curious about the comments. I'm like, oh, you guys it's so cool when you guys comment. I'm like, it makes me so happy.
I like Victoria mentioned to you, Hannah goes out of her way to cover up a crime to help Norman, a man she barely knows, twice. That was that's kind of where I was thinking too when it came to the motivation of just sort of like, why? Like, you barely know this guy. Are you really that nice? Or like, what's like if that happened in real life, I would just be thinking, what do you want? Like, do you need something in return? What do you need?
So I'm trying to remember who said you didn't like Hannah. So this was the one moment where I kind of had a moment where I was like, Hannah, you went out. Because she mentioned the cookies were disappointing, and she's like, you didn't bake the cookies after she said the cookies were disappointing. I just wanted to throw that in there because I found my note. I'm like, if you read that part and you didn't go any further, I kind of see where you're like, she might be a little abrasive, but yeah. The whole stealing evidence, I was with you on that one. I didn't know heads or tails what to make of that, because on one hand, like, I understand the father passed away, and she's going, oh, we have no reason to reveal this. On the other hand,
right.
Why are you, like, she's making that decision for everybody?
Yeah, well, and that was, I mean, she was making all the decisions. Like, and on the one hand, she's the main character, so I do like that she was always moving the plot forward. Well, I won't say always, because there were a lot of times where pieces of information were brought to her, like, very conveniently we rule out one person, and then it's, oh, by the way, did you know that this person was doing this on Sunday? And so, I get it. I guess I wish there was like, if she was going to be like the busybody investigator, amateur investigator, I wanted her to do almost more investigating on her own as opposed to waiting for things to fall into her lap.
That was one of my notes, because I don't know where I put it, but the mother was at the mall and she saw the ring and she called her to say, I saw the ring for sale from the Woodleys. I thought that was great because that's the key piece of information, that the Woodleys are in debt and needed the loan. And the mother sees the ring and calls her like, I have a tidbit of gossip for you. I love that. I mean, Hannah, like it really did fall in her lap that time.
Oh yeah, it happens on more than one occasion.
I love that one. That one was my favorite one because she literally called her with the key. I mean, that was the pivotal turning point when after she realized Boyd wasn't the person.
Yeah, Miriam added, aside from the tampering with evidence, that breaking and entering at the dairy in the middle of the night was just over the top. And I'm with you. That was, well, and at least
when she broke into the home and then the dairy, she broke into two places.
I know. I'm just like, call anyone. You literally have an in at the sheriff's department. Like, you know, Bill. But yeah, I just, and it was a lot.
I also acknowledge, on one hand, I love that she's keeping the police in the loop. I mean, that's something a lot of sleuthers where you're like, oh my God, you literally walked into the murderer's home without a clue. Like, you know, you have no backup, no nothing. But he was writing her in as a snitch because he didn't know what to call her because he wasn't really supposed to be using her in that way. So he didn't include her name. Like, it was just the snitch said, like, she's instead of being the sleuther, she's the town snitch.
Yeah, I guess, and you know what? Everyone in the town seems to, for the most part, really have a positive view of Hannah. Like, I mean, I guess we never really have a moment until, you know, I guess the end, but the big reveal that everyone's more than willing to talk to her. And so in that regards, it was like almost a little too easy for me. Like, I want them to work for it. You know, I want them to do more of the work as opposed to just saying, hey, I noticed you wear this lipstick. Tell me what the color is. Oh, you sold it to someone? Who is it? Oh, I know that person. It was a lot of like, you know, again, having the things handed to her, and maybe that changes in the future books.
I was going to say, you just hit the nail on the head because I even wrote down how Andrea was the one sleuthing when she was keeping Norman busy. I kind of thought those roles should have been reversed, where the sister was like, appointment while Hannah went sleuthing, because Andrea is the sister. She's the one who goes sleuthing in Norman's office and all around the dentist office. She's the one who finds the picture. She's the one who like goes into, and she's like, oh no, it was under a layer of dust and all this. Like, she did the sleuthing while Hannah was the one keeping him occupied.
That's a good point.
I thought that was funny. For some reason, I wrote that down like, yeah, why is she the one sleuthing here? So when you said that, I'm like, this is exactly, we're same wavelength here.
Brains, spreading those brains together. I did like, let's see. I want to see what everybody else is saying. Victoria said, I don't like Hannah because she makes everyone's decisions for them. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. The one about the Polaroids, I kind of think they should have at least taken a day or something to think about it, because they just went right from finding them to destroying them. There was no, thought of like waiting.
Yeah.
How they
I put that one out of my head. I think I just thought it was so ridiculous that I forgot about that part.
That one was the one where I was like, yeah. And then this whole stealing of evidence, she's like, yeah, but he's not a suspect. I'm like, yeah, but you're not the cop to decide that, are you?
Yeah, exactly. I do have to say, one thing that I loved is Carb Tuesday. This whole idea of Carb Tuesday, which I mean, that's every day for me. That's not just Tuesday. It's like, I love carbs. So that's,
I love the mother. She did like the sweets, the mother, the sweet tooth.
And I mean, we see that character a lot, right? The like mom that has the single daughter that she has to marry off. But I do like that they almost go to like the extreme with it. Cause I'm like, if you're going to do it, go for it. Like she arranges for her daughter to have a date and take photos like it's prom. I mean, that's fantastic. I laughed so much at that part.
I loved how I gotta give Norman credit for this. As I'm like laughing, I'm like, oh, the eye makeup. Norman was like, yeah, I'll take your pictures now. It was like fair game. Like you took ours, we're gonna take yours now.
Oh, I love this. Shaylee said, these are books I don't think too hard about. They're kind of the book version of trash TV for me, but I eat it up. Yeah, I get it. You can't think too hard about them. Like I do get that. But I do it anyway. Haha.
Oh no. I mean, it was still a fun read. Like I kind of love that. Again, I think that I went to the Goodreads page and someone was like, oh, there was a lot of description, but I liked the fact there was a lot of description. Like you can just fall into this world. Like you can just fall into this cozy town and you're in it. I mean, I thought that was kind of, again, I agree with you. Like you just fall into the town and now that you're here, you can experience this story.
I didn't think there was too much description either. Like, I mean, because there's so much dialogue as well of her talking to so many different characters and like trying to keep each of the characters straight in my head. I thought it was actually a pretty good balance and the more you want to describe food to me, I will take it. I will always cookies for breakfast. Like, yes, I will always accept more descriptions of food.
That was amazing. I actually had this moment as I was reading about Ron, because he would keep her cookies for breakfast for the following day. I'm like, I never thought of that. And like, weirdly, I'm like, is that a good idea? And so now I'm like, I kind of want to try it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like pizza, cold pizza for breakfast, cookies for breakfast. Like, it's great. It's all good.
I love how we're adults. We're supposed to be like, oh, we need our, healthy plate meat. Like, oh, but these are so delicious.
Oh yeah, I did that when I was a kid, and I had my parents monitoring what I was allowed to eat, and then I, became a 29-year-old woman. I'm allowed to eat pizza for breakfast.
You became Hannah, who needs her sweets.
It's true. You know what? I'm a fan. I do remember these books because I remember reading the recipes. And it was the first time I had read recipes like put into books. And I definitely, as I was reading this time, marked a few pages for recipes that I do want to try, especially the chocolate chip crunch cookies. I thought that was a really cool idea.
I never thought about putting cornflakes in either.
No, me neither. And I'm here for it.
I was like, that's kind of a random idea, but it's one of those like, who thought about putting peanut butter and chocolate? But like once you knew it's there, like it just works.
A genius. Yes. A genius. Yes.
I mean, I also again, maybe this is because it's an older cozy, but even just having the recipes at the end of the chapter, because usually they're like right at the end of the book. But again, it went with what was in that chapter, so that was the one that she was talking about in that scene. So I think that was different, and there was also a little bit of play with it. You're like, oh yeah, like this one's really sweet because so and so is sweet. So I thought that was a kind of cute way of making it a little different. But again, this is before this became the norm, so it's not the standard.
Yeah, I'm with you. I liked them in the chapters because then it kind of, as I was reading, like, obviously I marked the page where she talks about making the like Regency romance cookies for the Regency romance novel club. I was like, first of all, I want to join that club. Yes. Secondly, and I thought, the next time I read a Regency romance, I have to make these cookies. Like, and there they were on the next page.
I wrote that down. I mean, the mother was also in the quilting society. Like, Dolores was really in a lot of extracurriculars there. She was entertaining.
I know. I feel like my mom and some of her friends are much more sociable in their 60s than I am at 29. Like, they go out, they go on trips, they have all these clubs. So this is my social hour right here with you over Zoom.
No, this is exactly my social life is my little fur baby who, like, I love him today. I was like, oh, he'll join the live stream. He is just he's been so quiet. This is what happened. He's sleeping all day. Now he's just like, he's going for it. He's running around. If you're hearing noises, it's him. Now he's bury a treat in my rug. I don't know how he thinks he's going to do that, but he's my social life. So this is why, like, our sleuthing reading companions, like, only other readers understand this. It's just great.
Yeah, I read enough books. Those are my companions.
Oh, yeah. I just saw 2 pieces of string cheese for supper. I didn't see any. Again, like, my eyes just went right to that comment. I'm like, that's great.
Oh, and then Elisa, I think it's Elisa, a few comments above said, I had Oreos for breakfast the other day. Good choice.
So Miriam, the recipes are amazing. Cookies and coffee. So I posted this on Twitter. She opened the egg. She put egg in the coffee and then put the eggshell in the coffee with the ground.
Thank you. I wrote a note of that too, and I was like, is this just like a secret recipe? I don't.
I posted that, but I don't know if anyone got back to me. I was like, should I try this? ?
I know. I was like thinking it could have been like a regional thing, but I have no idea. Oh, Shaylee, I love this. She said, Hannah's mom reminds me of Emily from Gilmore Girls. Yeah, I see it.
That's true. I'll give you that one. Yeah. When she was doing her, the daughters of the American Revolution there, that totally goes hand in hand there.
Yeah, she was judgmental, but like not as mean as Emily Gilmore for sure.
I mean, I think my heart goes out to Emily. We're not going to talk about the 4 episodes, but your heart goes out to her in those 4 episodes when she quits all of her extracurriculars.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Mrs. Bennett the whole time. The whole, like, did you get a date? I think you're going to get a date. Oh, are you dressed for a date? I mean, the poor thing, she wears a nice dress. Who did you wear the dress for? I mean, she couldn't just be wearing the dress because she liked the dress. It had to be for a guy.
That's like how I've been trained to think about dresses in general. Like, I have so many friends that wear these beautiful sundresses and they just throw them on, like, because they tell me, they're like, Kelly, it's the easiest thing to put on. You just throw it on, you're done. And for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, you look so fancy. Are you going somewhere? Like, look at me. I'm wearing a t-shirt. This is like my go-to. So I don't know why that's what I think about, but
I have to admit, she lost the bet. She's going to lose her Nikes. She threw them out the very last sentence of the book. I was very saddened by that because I'm not going to get rid of my favorite pair of shoes. I mean,
no.
I'm sorry. Even like I would renege and say whatever you want.
Victoria thankfully Googled for us and said the eggs thing is regional.
Okay.
It still sounds weird.
I've never heard of that. I mean, because she also put in a lot of salt with the egg. I remember there was salt involved too. So I'm glad you for Googling that. You were very sweet. I appreciate that. Because I'm like, do I try this? I kind of want to.
Well, I mean, I'm heading to Minnesota, so maybe it'll
tell me.
Yeah, so I'll let you know. I'm gonna purposely seek it out and see if I can find it somewhere.
You're gonna be our informant. Be like, you are gonna be the snitch now. You are Hannah. As my squeaks. I don't know if you can hear the squeak.
I can, but it looks like it's there, so that's okay.
It is. Yes, I went through a period where I still have to be very careful with my lower back. So I used to have just like a regular chair here. I was like, no. I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. Like, I need a nice chair. So you gotta choose. Steph. I'm like, you choose the books and you choose the chair. I mean,
are we allowed to talk about the ending?
Yes. So I made a note of this because Judith is not even introduced until the 25% mark in the book. So if you knew it was Judith from page 5, I have no idea how you would know that.
Okay, let me tell you my thought process with this book, because I watch and read a lot of mysteries. So this is like when I'm watching with my parents, we watch a lot of British stuff. And you do too. Okay, so like
Acorn TV.
Oh, I love Acorn. Midsummer Murders, Queens of Mystery. My parents love Murdoch Murders. But yeah, there's a whole range. And so we always make it a big point to like, we have to try to figure out who did it and why they did it. So in this one, I was like, I kept going back to Judith's son.
Yeah, Benton.
Ben. There were too many B's. I kept thinking of Benton and Boyd. Benton Boyd. Because the other ones just seemed like too obvious. Like, you know, but even then, Benton we meet like halfway through at the party. And that just seemed like so out of the blue. And then when it came back to Judith, I was like, oh, okay. It was interesting. We kind of got the motive before we got the murderer. I love people are saying they love BritBox and Acorn, and Victoria watches Midsummer.
Oh, Jessica. Oh, she's the writer too. Again, romance. Jessica, go check it.
Love it.
Oh my gosh. Yes. No, you guys, Acorn TV is amazing. As soon as you said Queens of Mystery, I rewatched that I think 2 or 3 times. Agatha Raisin. I love Agatha Raisin. I'm obsessed that. I think I cannot, like, that's one of my comfort foods. Like, I'll just rewatch it over and over again. Like, I'll stop, I'll reach the end, and then I'll watch it from the beginning all over again. I love that one. I'm so excited that you guys love these things too. This is why sleuthing, bookish reading family. Like, this is meant to be.
Yeah. Okay. Some people are weighing in on the murderer. Yeah. Miriam said, I thought about Judith when Hannah decided it was Benton, and I thought, okay, but why not Judith? She had as much motive. That was kind of my thinking too. Is I find so often that if it's not like the child, I know he's not a child, but if it's not the child, a lot of the times it's like a parent to like protect the child. But in this case, I knew it wasn't going to be Dell. Like that didn't seem right. So Judith just, I don't know, usually the like mean manipulative person isn't the murderer, and you just want them to be the murderer.
Heroine where you're like, I really want it to be you, but I'm sad it's not. Like, I kind of wanted the white guy who's the abuser. Like, I'm like, you're not the murderer, but like, you need to be in jail.
Right.
Like, I know it's not you, but like, can we pin it on you, kind of? But like you want him in jail. Like, he needs to be.
I know. I was actually surprised that we didn't get a conclusion with that at the end of the story.
Gotta go read that now. I need my answers.
I guess.
Like, be safe.
Yeah, because hopefully I'm thinking, if he doesn't get arrested, I hope he dies in the next one.
Can he be the murder victim? But this is going back to there's too many B names. They called him the coach, but then he was Boyd. I was like, choose how you want to call him. Like, choose a name, choose a terminology.
Pick one.
No, so when you said Benton, and in the movie, when they finally have the killer reveal, Benton actually walks in on the mother, and he says to her, Dad told me about his suspicions, and I didn't believe him at first, and he started trying to talk her down with a gun, and then Mike saves Hannah. So I think the movie gave Benton a little bit of like a redemption arc, where whereas in the book he just comes across as this very spoiled. They write in that he only went home to make sure the well
very one-dimensional.
Yeah. So the movie at least gave him a little bit more depth, but I kind of actually have to. This is where I'm like, okay, the book wins a little bit more here. Hannah was able to get the gun away from Judith. Where
she was a badass in that last scene.
Yeah, like in the movie, like Hannah gets rescued by Mike. In the book, like she got the gun away from her and's holding her at gunpoint. She's like, read her rights. I'm like, go Hannah.
Yeah, and she like ties her hands up with like her Hermes scarf. I was just like, whoa, we're taking that extra step. Good for you.
This is where the book wins in that pivotal key moment. I'm like, Homer, why did you not adapt it that way?
I know. So it's one of those things where I was like, this is so weird. There's certain parts that seem like so progressive and like forward thinking and make her like this uber feminist. And then other ones where just kind of like, oh, okay, fine. But yeah, interesting choices all around.
I love that, again, like with you, I love that she tied her up with the scarf. I mean, I thought it was so funny where there's the line about how Bill was probably giving her side eye, but it's like, you have the gun, you already like adrenaline, I'm not going to say anything. Because she's like, read the rights. And like, he wants to say something about that, but like, you let it go in the moment. But I think that was great. She's dictating to the cop, like, no, you go do your job. I'm going to still hold the gun at her.
Shaylee said, I want to know where Hannah learned it all, though. And I mean, I'm not I don't disagree with that because she just really jumped in full force to anything. I kept thinking when she ties her up with the scarf, I was like, well, we know she had an affair with a professor a while back. So
that was not in the movie, and I totally forgot all about that. That was like reading it again for the first time where I'm like, what? Hannah,
it's a little too saucy for Hallmark.
Well, yeah, but even, I mean, again, the whole idea of even just saying, you know, her heart was broken at some point, but the professor thing was brand new. Like to me, I totally forgot about that. I mean, now I need to go. There's so many books in this series. One of the books for tonight we're giving away is like the latest one in the series, but it was just there's like what 20 something. Like, does he come back in one of the ones? I need to go reread and look into this.
Probably not.
I'm curious. Like, is there gonna be another mention to him?
Probably not.
If he's the victim, like she has a motive.
Ooh, that'd be a good one. If that is in one, I'd be up for that one for sure.
Fan fiction, somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, even hidden skills for sure. Like even if she tied her up, part of me is like, did you use the Boy Scout knot? Like, how did you tie her hands up? I just assume you know what you're doing.
I know. Well, and she kind of took on that attitude. Like in a way, I'm kind of like, I did like that she never really thought about like the consequences for anything. Like it was always like, I'll break in, fine. I'm going to ask these people questions. Ooh, someone sketchy is parked outside my house, but I'm still not going to call the police. Like she just always was like trying to do it all on her own, which on the one hand I admire. And then on the other hand, I'm like, oh no, please. It's okay. It's okay to ask for help.
That was my favorite thing when the cat. So this totally reminded me of Max, where like he'll just like go off and do something, or I'm like, I'm having a moment here. I need a hug, or I'm gonna pat you. Like, come over here. And he's like, no, I'm gonna go get my treat. But like she sees the sketchy car, and the cat like curls up over like there, and she's like freaking out. And eventually she realizes she didn't have a reason to be scared. She's like, I should have just followed Moisha's lead. She's like, I should have been the cat. But she's already like going to get her camera, and then she's putting film in there. Like she's not wasting any time. But again, she's doing all this, not calling Bill the cop. She's just like, I'm gonna go get a photo.
Oh yeah, gotta get film in the camera.
She does all this before she thinks, let's call the brother-in-law. So like very self-assured, like assertive, like I got this. Yeah. I would have been on the phone to Bill so quickly. Like I would not have thought film for camera. I would have been like, where's the cell phone? Where's the landline? Something.
Yeah, I know we mentioned it earlier, but the whole introduction of Mike later on, I guess I just expected him to always be there. And then when he wasn't there for the first half of the story, I thought, oh, okay, well, we'll just meet him in the next book. So I thought that was interesting that they decided to introduce him at the end of this one, but it kind of sets up what's to come, you know, moving forward. Mm-hmm.
So this is, if I were to just think about the book, I weirdly would be Team Norman. Weirdly, if I just looked at the book, whereas because I have like I know other things where I'm like, okay, Mike still has a special place in my heart, but by reading this book, I was really invested in her relationship with Norman. I'm not gonna lie, like I really kind of liked him by the end because she kind of wrote him off too quickly, but then he was helping her. He made her little business cards.
I know, that was cute. That
was so sweet. And then he's like, let me know if you need any more of them. I mean, it was just
nice and resourceful. I mean, where do I get one of those?
It was just so sweet. For some reason, like that little gesture just like stole my heart. So I was like, oh, Norman. Oh, you poor thing.
Yeah, he was cute. And I mean, when he's the only one that you really have to go off of for most of the book and everything, then by introducing Mike so late, it almost just kind of cheapens the idea of them even potentially having a romance because Hannah talks like once, and then he's telling her, I want to ask you out. I want to be more than friends with you. I'm like, whoa, let's slow down a little bit here.
I was so taken aback because she has such a reaction. Like she's so attracted to Mike from the get-go. Like she has to go splash water on her face literally because she's so hot and bothered by him. I mean, she actually goes to the bathroom to throw water on her face. That's a scene in the book. And then you got her going out with Norman and she's like, he's so nice. He's a nice guy. And did I tell you he's nice? Like she just keeps calling him nice. But I mean, based on that, I was still like, Team Norman. I mean, again, there was a lot more to him. There was more depth. Whereas Mike, it's like, I'm attracted to you, and she has the one dinner. Like, I mean, yes, he brought Tracy a toy, but Norman also brought you business cards. Like, that wasn't enough of a kind gesture. Like, there kind of need to be more to him.
Yeah, no, you're right. Also, this specific book, he definitely, well, and then when you compare the two, Mike seems like the one that would be like the one you would be last after, but Norman seems like the one that would be more of like the long-lasting love story. So, you know, I mean, I saw Shaylee post, I'm on book 3, and I still don't know what team I am. I get it. Like, I feel like in the show, they very much went in with like an agenda of like, you are going to be team Mike. You are going to root for them to be together. But in the book,
can't remember him too. Like, you're gonna love him.
I love it. I think he's so adorable. I have such a crush on him.
I mean, I remember him on Dancing with the Stars. Like, I remember his days as a soap opera guy. So like, I remember Mark. Like, he's adorable. He did one movie where he's a Manny. Like, he's a cop undercover and he's taking care of the kids. I'm like, I adore you. Like,
perfect.
He's the perfect Mike. But again, this is where the movie, you know, takes a different route than the book, because the movie wins here. Their meet cute is her in the dumpster. He thinks she's a homeless lady, like looking for that cup with the lipstick. She's in the dumpster. She's got trash. She's got a banana peel on her. Like, she looks like a crazy person. So he's like, do you need help? Like, he sees her in the trash. He's like, I'm looking. Eventually she's like, this is evidence. Like, eventually she reveals why she was in the dumpster. But that was their meet cute. Whereas this time it's like kind of forced. Like, it's a setup. Like, Bill's playing matchmaker because he learned from the mother-in-law, which I thought was a very cute throwaway line, by the way. But I mean, for some reason, I think the movie did a good job, like, making it more of a natural, like, gravitating towards one another. I mean, even, this is gonna sound terrible, like, in the movie, she's kind of mean to him at first. Like, she's a little yeah, there's a little bit of like a feistiness to their relationship at first, and then she bakes him all the goodies, like the cupcakes and everything else. Like, she gives him a legit bag of stuff. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what is in there is huge, to apologize for her actions. And because she didn't know about the wife and she didn't know why he was there. But again,
that was her, by the way, in the book. Like, that's right out there with like the abuse storyline, the whole idea of his wife dying, let alone being murdered in a like gang war, like crossfire, and she was pregnant.
That was yeah, like,
it was a lot.
I mean, and even this is a random one, but they weren't able to get the guy who killed her on her charge. They got him for a different murder. And like, part of me was actually kind of, that jumped out at me, because I'm like, she still didn't get justice for her murder. Like, got justice. It's like, you're kind of tacking it on there. So even then I felt like that was dark. I mean,
it was something where I was like, that's something that I would have really enjoyed that storyline, like in something that was more of that tone. Like, I would have found that really interesting. But in this book, where it's like, you know, on one page you have like them trying on outfits and like, oh, give it to her half price, I'll pay, and then
and the cute cut and curl, like, you have the cute little names.
Yeah, you have all these like cute, super sweet moments that I expect on a cozy mystery, and then to throw in this gruesome murder of a pregnant woman, I'm like, are you serious?
No, like, Hannah's mean to him in the movie, and then she finds out like he just lost his wife, he's grieving. Like, she finds out after she was sassy to him. And so like, I kind of thought that was, you know, there was growth there, whereas this time, from the get-go, like, his backstory, like, she knows going in to kind of treat him with like kid gloves almost, like, you know, he's still dealing with stuff, you know, if there's an emotional component here, like, you kind of got all that information. It wasn't an info dump, but like, you still got it beforehand.
It was kind of too, and it wasn't from him either, which, I mean, if it was something that he had shared with her, like he does in the movie apparently, which I am not remembering at all, I'm gonna have to go watch. If it comes from him, it's like a sign of trust and like, you know, seeing their relationship like build. But yeah, I mean, when people, I don't like as much when people talk about other people as opposed to learning the information from each other.
Does.
What?
Everybody's talking about everybody in this town.
All of it.
The other one I loved was, again, we gotta like, I'm like, this poor thing, Danielle. The one that I felt bad for was everyone thought she was living off of his teacher's salary, and it turns out she's the one with money, but they're all making fun of her for not having a job. And I was like, okay, this is the gossip mill that like needs to get, turned about. We need to bring this one back.
It kind of reminded me of, have you watched any of Netflix's Sweet Magnolias?
Not yet. That's on my watch list. That's been on my watch list for a while.
Okay.
I is so cute.
I want you to watch it and let me know what you think, because like Jamie Lynn Spears plays a really interesting part on it where, and I don't think I'm spoiling anything because you find this out in the first episode, but she plays the like girlfriend, the pregnant girlfriend of Joanne Garcia's husband that she's divorcing. And you really start to, as the series goes on, like feel for her as kind of being like a victim in this relationship with him. But everybody treats her like the town harlot and all this, when really she's this young girl that just kind of, it seems like, was played by this much older married man. So if anybody else has seen it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. But if you haven't,
like how she didn't know the professor was married. Like your Hannah moment's coming back. Like it all comes back around. It's all relevant. Yeah. Like Hannah got played by the professor. Like she didn't know. Like yeah,
exactly.
The information. It's always the guys.
Right. Oh.
Oh my god. It's plus it's Sammy from Days, Allison Sweeney. So she didn't look like the character in the book, but I love Allison Sweeney, so it's okay. I give her a pass for that.
Yeah, she did not.
She has the red hair and she's taller than the mother and sister, and we have one sister who's kind of missing from the book but is like referenced randomly like a couple of times.
Yeah. I do like Allison Sweeney on the show. Like she's one of the better Hallmark murder mystery heroines.
She now has the podcast. She's now a podcaster diving into cold cases. She has a new series, but I'm going, wait, you gotta go make, there's so many more books in this series and they stopped making.
I know. You could do these for the rest of your life. There's not many of them.
I mean, she had it made. It was like a Murder, She Wrote situation. Go to episode 200. Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah. She can be like 50-year-old Hannah Swensen solving crime.
I'm really sad that they only made, I think it was 4 or 5 of them. I think they stopped after that. I think it was
That's
5.
disappointing.
I want to say it was 5.
People love mysteries and they love sweets. Like, what's not to like?
Yeah. I know, I'm sad by that. I only rewatch, you gotta, Amazon Prime, you can buy them to stream. I've only rewatched the first 2 and I'm like, oh, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th are there. But I know if I'm gonna watch them, I'm gonna get sad by the 5th one. I'm going, no, it's over. It's like when your favorite show ends and you're going, there are no more episodes, and your heart kind of breaks a little. So I don't really want to watch the rest of them yet.
I just experienced that when Schitt's Creek ended.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I was so emotional.
I bawled. Oh, it was so good. It was so beautiful, though. It was the perfect ending.
I will admit, so if you guys haven't watched the show, you need to go check it out. Schitt's Creek is hysterical. Alexis, I kind of wanted to see her in New York. If you guys know the show, you got to tell us. But Alexis, I would have loved to have seen her like go to New York and kind of, unpack and be in the city on her own. That was the only thing I would have liked to have seen. Other than that, it was complete perfection.
Yeah, it was a great, that last shot too. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody because you have to go and watch the whole thing, and the ending will be everything that you wanted. Except for Angela, she wanted more.
I was sobbing like.
Yeah, I was too.
The last scene because it comes back to what happens in the first season, the last shot. Because because I'm this person, I rewatched all the seasons leading up to it. So
me too.
I've seen every episode of that show multiple times.
Yeah.
It relates back to something in the first season, and I had just seen the first season, so my heart was like, oh, it's so beautiful and well written. I'm getting emotional.
Elisa and Victoria both say that they watched Sweet Magnolias and that the girlfriend got played by the doctor. Yeah, that's Jamie Lynn Spears in it. She's really good, really underrated. I hope her character gets more love. Like she's one of the people that you're like, I have to root for you because everybody else is just ruining your life.
I always remember her from Zoe 101. I grew up with her. It was a little. Yeah, I was like, that was a little younger than my age, but
now she's all grown up.
I know. Oh, Brittany's little sister. That's so cute, though. See, now I'm gonna have to go watch that show because you recommended it.
You'll like it.
Yeah. Very seriously.
Yeah, good. I like it.
I mean, did anyone else have any thoughts about the book? Or, I mean, because we just hit 8 o'clock. I didn't even realize that until like the little like time thing on my calendar went off, which is why my eyes were like, wait a second. So, I mean, if you guys have something about the book you want to talk about, or a scene or a character or something, I mean, I love chatting with you. Like, I didn't even realize the time has been going by so fast.
Oh, I know. Well, because we have so much fun every time we talk.
You make me smile so much. Like, you're so entertaining and so sweet. I mean, I love chatting with her so much.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, I love watching these broadcasts, and I love seeing all you always have the cutest pictures of you and your gorgeous bookshelves and your adorable dog.
He abandoned me this book club live stream. He literally, because he's been sleeping all day. I took a picture. I'll have to post it later. He's literally on his back, and the feet are in the air, and the legs are in the air, and it's so funny. And now he's somewhere hiding treats from me, even though I gave them to him.
Precious baby.
Oh goodness, yeah. I'm gonna have to make sure I post some pictures of him because I feel badly he didn't join us tonight.
That's okay. I'm sure he's off being cute and all that.
I will admit though, with the whole quarantine life, I trimmed him so he's not as cute as he normally is, although I think he's precious no matter what. Some of the hair is a little lopsided, so the legs and back are very short with the fur, and the legs in front have not been trimmed yet, so he doesn't quite match.
Oh, that's okay. I like that even more. It adds character. A lot of people they love Sweet Magnolias, and there's a few votes for a watch along.
Yes, so I looked it up as soon as we knew that this was our book for the month. I tried to find the time. So it was on the Saturday after it won as the vote. So it was only on once this month. I was so upset because I would love to have done that watch along.
Gotcha. Okay.
And now they're doing their Christmas stuff. So there is a Christmas movie for Hannah Swensen. I think it is the second or third one. It might be the second. And so if they air this for Christmas in July, I will make this a watch along. This will be happening. I love that. This will happen. So if they do this Christmas in July, I am on the lookout. I need to go scour their schedule, but it will happen.
You would think, but they do have a million Christmas movies too. So I do get that.
Oh no, I am so excited for Christmas in July. I'm here for it. I was like, I don't even know how else to explain it. Christmas in July with Hallmark. Oh, yep. I love Hallmark. It's combining two things that I already love. It's great. I mean, I was so excited the other day. I was posting pictures of Nancy Nagel and her books because I love those. So if you guys aren't reading Nancy Nagel, you should, because she's a very, she has some books that were turned into Hallmark movies. She's a good one for you.
Hey, I'm gonna have to write down that recommendation.
Plus, like, as a person, she's so sweet. It's one of those, sometimes you'll meet an author and they don't live up to expectations, or or you'll have an author you love as a person, but they're writing, you're like, oh, I wanted to love this so much more because I love you as a person. She's both. She's she's such a sweetheart, and she's so talented. Like, she's one of those people where I'm like, can you teach me how to be like you?
Oh, I hope she's watching then and listening to you sing her praises.
So she's adorable. She's so sweet. And again, I actually think, so bringing this right back around, I think she was actually on an episode with Cameron Madison for Hallmark, their Home and Family show. So it's all relevant. It's a topic.
Nice. I used to watch that every morning, and it's been a while though since I had cable, so I haven't been able to watch it lately. But I used to start my day with them every day.
You used to start your day with Cameron?
I will always start my day with Cameron. That is absolutely okay with me. Cameron and cookies. There's the show that I want. Morning show, Cameron and cookies.
I'm kind of curious. I don't know if he's doing any current Hallmark movies for sleuthers. I mean, I know she's doing podcasts. I'm like, is he doing any of them? I need to go look into this now because he needs movies.
Not that I know of, but they're also not filming like anything right now because of, our global pandemic. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, Christmas in July is always exciting, Alicia says. It's such a nice, it'll be, especially this time of year, I think it'll be a nice kind of break from everything that's going on outside in the world right now.
So, I mean, you just kind of reminded me, because we're talking about Hallmark. So I don't think this had actually ever happened before. I'm going to have to look it up. But we had a tie for our July book. But our winner is Aurora Teagarden, Real Murders, which is another movie that's been adapted by Hallmark. So we might end up doing a watch along for that if I can see when that one's airing. So you just it's all on topic. So that's
right. That's exciting. Yeah, I want to say I voted for one with my account on Twitter, and then I voted for another one with my Boobies and Newbies account on Twitter because I was like, these both sound good.
It was so funny because I'm watching the percentages, and so at first there were the one for July. It was actually it was a cherry cheesecake. It was chocolate cherry cheesecake because I couldn't fit it all in, so I had to put the emojis in the poll. That's why I was like, which was the emoji again? So that one was ahead for the longest time, but then Aurora had a comeback, and so I was so curious what was going to win because the numbers were so close, and then they tied to the decimal. That was amazing. I was not. Wow. So I mean, part of me, I feel badly like the other one didn't win because even with the tie, like the tiebreaker, it was still up there. Like people really want to read this book, so I'm gonna make sure y'all have all that information because that book seems really popular. I might have to bring it back around for maybe we're gonna have to do these books came in second. Let's see if people are still interested poll because
that's a good idea. I like that.
There's a lot of interest. I might actually just carry it over to next month's poll because a lot of people really, really liked, that summary or something. So,
well, and cheesecake, yum.
Pop up. It says you definitely read, but The Real Murders and Death. Oh, I have my glasses. By Chocolate Cheesecake and yeah, they both sounded so good. I always abstain from voting because I always feel as if I shouldn't. I'm like, okay, I put them all together. I don't want to sway. So I'm like, I will let the club members choose whichever book they vote for. I'm always like, whatever wins. And so I was so surprised that the numbers were just so close.
Elisa said Candace Cameron Bure announced on her Instagram that she's heading to film another Aurora Teagarden film next week. So somewhere there is a start of filming. I have a lot of friends that work in film and television, so I am very curious how they are doing that and where they're doing that.
I know they filmed the last one in Canada. I know that.
Yeah, I know that it's definitely they're doing better up there in like COVID cases, but still, that's really surprising to me that they're getting started with everything right away. But I mean, fine by me. That means more Aurora Teagarden.
See, this is what I mean. The Aurora Teagarden series, she's made, I think, 12 of those movies. Why did Hannah only get 5?
I don't know. I
have questions, Hallmark. Well, because she's making other movies, so it's not as if she wasn't available.
I know. I'm a fan of the Mystery 101 series on Hallmark. Those are my favorites.
I remember her from Teen Wolf, so it was so funny. I was like, hey, I know you.
We all got to start somewhere.
She was the evil aunt. It was funny to see her now doing Hallmark. I'm like, this is not how I originally saw you.
Yeah, well, I said the same thing about Gretchen Wieners, Lacey Chabert.
Well, she's a Hallmark staple now. She's doing crossword. She's doing a cozy mystery adaptation too.
Yeah, she's got plenty on her plate. She is set.
See, you're not the only person because nobody in LA was going back to work. So yeah, that's kind of curious. I wasn't expecting you to say that they're currently filming.
Yeah, Tea with Danielle, Vancouver, I believe. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's so interesting. I kind of wish. I think they're getting a too early start. I mean, but I'm also looking around the country, and we've driven through like 6 states, and there's been a lot of places where nobody's wearing masks, and maybe a little nervous.
Ooh.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, not to bring it down. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to bring us to like a low note, but yeah.
No, I'm like, I want you to stay safe and healthy. I mean, my first thought was like, I want you to make sure, like, just because they're not wearing masks, I'm like, I want to make sure that you're okay. Like,
I'm wearing my mask is super cute. Of course I'm wearing my mask.
Mine's been I have the disposable one, so every time I wear it I then throw it away and get a new one. I've been waiting on my Disney baby Yoda mask to arrive. I'm looking forward to this mask so much because once I have it I'm like, this is gonna be the best thing ever. I'm looking forward to this mask so much.
It sounds so cute. I'm excited.
Well, I mean, so I went this is totally tangent moment. This was a while ago. I went to my favorite cafe and they were able to do baby Yoda as a latte art. And so every Instagram picture I have and I post of that one, I'm so excited. I'm always like, baby Yoda. I'm in my 20s, I'm now late 20s. So I'm like, every time though, I'm like, baby Yoda. I get so excited.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched The Mandalorian, please watch it.
Yeah. It's great. It's really good. I'm not even like a Star Wars person. I thought it was great.
That was a total tangent. That one wasn't relevant to cozies at all. I mean, I've been able to bring all the other stuff back. That one was just total tangent.
Well, Melissa said, I like the Murder, She Baked series of movies more than Alison Sweeney's current movies. The current one is the podcast one, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as somebody who does a podcast, I love the idea of like a podcast mystery series. I don't love the series so far, but I like the Murder, She Baked ones for sure.
I have to admit, this is also a very random thing about the movie to love, but I love the music. They have such a happy sound. She has like the little background. I don't want to make I'm not going to sing it or hum it because I will totally embarrass myself, but they have such an uplifting feel, like the little like boom, boom, like it's so cute. I mean, just the sound and the cinematography, like everything about it is just so bright and colorful and uplifting. And the podcast one had like a little bit of a darker, like just tones. And I mean visually, not darker as in content, but just it kind of had more neutral colors to it. So just visually, they just seem different and feel different.
Which I guess is good too if you're Alison Sweeney. Then you can for sure differentiate between the two, and she's playing like a different character. That's always nice.
Don't let the pigeon drive. I just saw that.
Great. I love that.
That is adorable.
Like a good mask.
So other Angela, we're the Angelas. I mean, it's so funny because it always sounds like I'm talking about myself in the third person, like me Tarzan type of situation. She did this adorable word search. It is on the Twitter. I have now posted it I think 3 times. It is so cute. She puts the little Cozy Mystery logo and then the book cover. She's so talented. I adore her.
So creative. What a great idea.
It's really cute. So if you guys haven't checked it out, I mean, there's a lot of content on our Twitter account, but like I'm making sure like go check out that particular piece of content because it's worth it. Because it's so cute.
Yeah. I saw it. I love a good word search too. So
I know you just reminded me. I was like, I totally am just so happy chatting with you. I'm like, oh, I had all the notes and I like to tell you guys like to be on the lookout. So Aurora Tea Garden is the first one. So if you don't have that book, please get it. And then at the end of this, so again, if you have anything to comment, start commenting because every comment is officially a giveaway entry. And there are 2 books up for grabs. So one person's going to get 2 paperback copies from Kensington. And the books are, I always feel like they're tongue twisters, but they're not. Coconut Layer Cake Murder for Joanne Fluke. And then Southern Sass and a Crispy Corpse by Kate Young. I think that is the best title ever. She has such cool book covers. They're great.
I love it. That's my favorite thing about cozy mysteries in general is just like the pun foodie. I mean, it's not always food, but like the funny pun names. I find so amusing.
I love her because the other one is she has crispy in the title. It's like Southern. It has to do with like a ghost. I'm blanking on the title off the top of my head, but she has great titles. She has super fun titles. And then I see everyone. Yeah, the word searches. You gotta like. I'm giving it her like special shout out and credit. Like she deserves it.
Yeah, way to go the extra mile. That's awesome.
Well, I'm glad you guys like the Twitter feed. That makes me happy.
Oh, I love Twitter. Twitter's become my new favorite in terms of like social media and everything.
Well, you're also hysterical. So if you guys aren't following her on Twitter and Instagram,
you're too kind. You're too kind. But yeah, I mean on if you want to follow the podcast, you want any romance recs or just talking all things romance, it's at Boobies Podcast. I have to say boobies because there's an S, and sometimes people forget the S. So it's more than one boobie. Boobies.
I mean, I'm going to jump ahead. So you just reminded me with the specificity. So this was the giant announcement. I kind of played like a little bit of it. I felt like I was teasing y'all. So the giant announcement that I like kind of teased about in the Instagram stories that I posted earlier on my account and the Cozy account is the Cozy Mystery Book Club officially has a website. If you type in the cozymysterybookclub.com, we have a website. But you have to type in the. This is why the specificity came to mind. Like your boot, like you need the plural. Like yes, just like it is the Cozy Mystery Book Club. So if you go to the cozymysterybookclub.com, we officially have a website. And so there's all sorts of stuff there. This was my little note to make sure I told y'all. I'm so excited. So I compiled a list of all the previous books we've read for the club. I have a PDF version on my website at the moment. So I will upload that on the cozymysterybookclub.com website. But all the books are there. There's a playlist of all for all the YouTube links. There's also a brand new logo for 12 Days of Cozies. And then all of the Instagram template stories that I created, everything is there. So you guys have access to all sorts of stuff. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm finally revealing it to y'all. So this is the first time I'm like publicly mentioning and talking about this website. So it is live. It is active. If you want something else added, you can let me know. But I'm so excited. We officially have a website.
That's amazing. Amazing. That's my excuse to build the Boobies website too. So I am totally with you. Good job. Congrats. I know how much work that is.
I mean, your website came out beautiful. You did a great job.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm excited to check out the Cozy Mystery Book Club.
It was so funny because there's someone has Cozy Mystery Book Club, but they're not using it. But I was like, okay, I'm like, we are the Cozy Mystery Book Club, and I've been working on this for a while because I got the template and then I had to get everything. Like there's been a lot of behind the scenes work, and so I didn't want to mention it because it might have been live, but it wasn't finished yet. So like there was, like fill in the blanks type stuff. So now that everything is at least in place, like everything is there, I can always add more to it. If y'all are, have something you'd like added, whether it be, certain content, video, whatever, I can always do that. But at least everything is already in place. All the logos are there, all the images, all the information, links, everything. I mean, I made sure it has everything from all the store links, because again, you guys loved Perlock and the logo. So I put the images and I did stuff with Zazzle, Society 6, Teespring, all of the links. Everything is just accessible right there. So there's no like needing to scroll down the Twitter feed to go find something that was posted. It's all there. I promise. I made sure it's there.
One-stop shop.
Exactly. Because there's even, there was, again, one person that even asked her, like, they wanted me to make a Goodreads account, and I'm going, okay, we have an Instagram, a Twitter, and now we need the Goodreads. But like I'd already been working on the website, so like now there's a little link for everybody, so you can always type and do forum stuff instead of using Goodreads. So like at least everything's consolidated. So if you need something, it's there. Hopefully, all your wants and desires are being met. I'm trying very, very hard to do so.
Yeah, no, and you know what? You can't please everyone. So it sounds like a lot, and everyone should be happy with Angela. Everyone tell Angela how amazing she is and all the things that she's doing.
Oh no, it's my absolute pleasure. I mean, it's so amazing to talk about books with people who love literature just as much as you, and to be able to foster these sleuthing conversations, and it's just it's my honor, it's my pleasure. I mean, I love this. I mean, it was so funny. My mom's like, you're so busy. When do you have the time to do it? I'm like, no, that's my relaxing time. So if I work all day on my dissertation, so it was so funny. Like I had to tell her, like, no, I'll work on the dissertation until 5 or 6, and then from like 7 or 9, I worked on the website. Like that was my relaxation time because I was so happy to do it.
So much relaxation. I know, it's so funny how that works, isn't it? Like I don't think of it as work either. I mean, it is a lot of work, but it doesn't feel like work.
No, I was so happy to do that website. Like I was having the best time because I haven't revealed, this is going to come in the coming months because I already had them done. But I did have one of the new logos done for 12 Days of Cozies. And I was like, oh, this looks so cute. I get to put this right there. Like it made me smile working on the website. So I really hope you guys enjoy it. And like, it wasn't work. Like that was my fun time to do something for everybody else. Like that was the relaxation time. So.
Love it. Can't wait to try it out.
You guys are so sweet. Oh, I'm gonna
cry. You're getting all the love that you
Oh, you guys are gonna make me cry. It's my absolute pleasure. I'm so happy that, I mean, I'm honored that y'all are spending time like watching and taking part in this live stream. I'm like, to me, this is amazing. Like people want to spend time with us chatting about, Joanne Fluke and chocolate chip cookie murder, like talk about like cozies. Like this is the best thing ever. I mean, I'm honored that people want to spend time with us.
Well, I'm honored that you had me back.
You're welcome anytime. I want to keep her. Like earlier, I was going, I haven't talked to you in the longest time. I was like, I need my Kelly time.
It has been a while. Yeah, we will definitely not let this much time go by again.
And it's kind of funny that so again, I genuinely adore her. I'm like, you are my friend. Like we are friends. And it started out because she was so generous. Like she responded to one of my requests. Again, I'm still working on the dissertation. It's not done, but it's getting there. But it started off I interviewed her and can I keep you? And I haven't let her go. I'm like, I'm gonna keep you.
Yes, I'm happy.
Letting her go. Now that I have her in my life, she's staying. So you are welcome to come back anytime you want. You're so sweet. And I mean, she's so eloquent too. You can tell she's a podcaster. She knows how to talk about books.
that theater degree, I gotta put it to use. Gotta get my money's worth.
Well, there's theater makeup for, again, we should have noticed about the domestic abuse there with she was wearing theater makeup. That should have been a hint, but
I marked that page. I was like, okay, what are we really covering up here, Danielle?
But you reminded me of that. I was like, hey, theater. See, I have this knack to bring these I don't know how I do this. It's like when you're writing an essay and you go off tangent and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna make this relevant again.
Yeah, I do the podcast all the time. I say, I have a plan. I promise it's coming.
It's so cute. I mean, you guys are so sweet. I mean, if anyone has any final thoughts before, again, you've had a long day driving, so I don't want to hold you hostage too much longer, but just if you guys have any final thoughts or questions, I mean, so I will go through the comments and convert your comments to giveaway entries to do the coconut layer cake and Southern sass.
Woo-hoo.
And then I will be announcing tomorrow. It took me a little longer because I was not expecting as many entries as we got. Farago Books, there was an Instagram giveaway, and someone's going to be winning 3 paperback cozy mysteries, Life, Death, and Cellos. I love this title, The Iceman Tale, the ice made tale instead of the handmaid's tale. And then Cherry Slice, so Farago Books. We did the Twitter giveaway, and now we're doing the Instagram, but there were a lot of Instagram entries, so it took me a little longer. And then tomorrow, so again, tonight we have giveaway. And then tomorrow, Quiche of Death is going to be a Twitter giveaway. So Mary Lee Ashford has the 3rd book coming out in that series. And so you can now win the first 2 books so you can get ready for the 3rd. So I will post that, and it's going to be a simply retweet and like situation. So be on the lookout for that tweet to go live tomorrow. So I'm probably going to post it in the afternoon.
Of Death.
I love that title. She has the 3rd book coming out. So in honor of the 3rd one, she's like, she messaged me. She's so cute. She's like, I also have extra swag because Malice Domestic was canceled because life.
Oh, yeah.
So
life.
I was like, no need to explain further. So she said, I have a lot of extra swag too. So I don't know how you want to advertise that, but I have these bags and then I have these other, she has a lot of stuff. So this giveaway is not just the books. So if you are interested in Quiche of Death and everything that comes with that, make sure you check out that Twitter giveaway. And then
I totally am. I'm gonna retweet the heck out of Quiche of Death.
And then because the book isn't coming out until the end of the month, if you don't win the Twitter one, there's gonna be a second giveaway for Instagram. So if you're not following the Cozy Mystery Book Club Instagram, again, I feel bad. I'm not trying to pitch it at you, but I don't want you to miss the giveaway entry. There will be a post saying, please comment to enter the giveaway. So I want to make sure you catch that post. So to catch the post, follow.
Yeah, I like it. You're pitching it the same way Hannah like approaches people in the book to be like, by the way, do you need someone to make cookies for you? Like it's, you got to be a little aggressive, but also be
I just don't
sweet.
want you to miss it. Like, this is my thing. Like, I'll probably also post it to the Twitter, like, hey, there's a link over on Instagram. Go check it out. But I mean, the reason I'm saying make sure you follow it is because I know the way social media works. My account unfollowed people for some reason on both of them. So, like, if you ever run into issues, like, make sure you're following or know about other ways to find info, just in case one of them slips through the cracks. So just be on the lookout, be aware. So that is happening. And then a super fun announcement. Julie Ann Lindsay, one of the current queens of cozy mysteries. I was originally going to launch this with Julia Buckley, but now I'm launching it with Julie Ann Lindsay, my Cozy Mystery Writing 101 series. So I'm going to be chatting with Julie Ann Lindsay on July 14th. So that is happening too.
That sounds like fun.
Yes. All the cozy mystery goodness.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I'm going to tune in for that.
I think she's like right up your alley because she writes romances too. She's a Harlequin, a romance like award winner there. So you guys also, if you like her cozies, she also writes romance.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check her out.
I was like, I know that was like very info dumpy, but like I have all my notes. Like I don't want to forget to mention just in case, because I want you to know about the giveaways. I want you to know like what's happening, because the worst thing, because I think this is because I've been through it myself. When you're so into like you love an author or you love a book and you find out something after the fact, it is the worst feeling in the world. You're like, oh, I missed it by a day.
Yeah, that's been happening a lot to me lately. I've been missing a lot of Instagram with people and then seeing the ad for them and getting so excited and realizing it was a couple days ago.
That is the worst. So that's why I wanted to make sure I mentioned it, because I know it's very info dumpy and I've like just threw a lot at you, but I've been on the receiving end where you're like, I wish I knew about this. And so I just want to make sure you have all the info. So if there's something else, I will always, again, this is why I retweet information so consistently too. Like, you now know the method to the madness of like why I do what I do. So if you ever need that, like, information again, just let me know. I will make sure you get it.
Perfect.
You're so sweet. So, I mean, when is your next podcast episode coming out?
I just put out one yesterday. We've actually started doing a monthly book club. Released our book club episode, and that has the announcement too for our book that we'll be reading next month for book club. And that's a fun way for like everyone who listens to the podcast and loves to read romance get involved and actually share their thoughts about the book with us. And then we take your thoughts and we put it into our podcast and we talk about it. We talk about you, and we give away some books and prizes and stuff. So we just had that episode for June come out, and our next one, I do Friday releases. I'm not sure if I'm going to get one out this Friday just because of the whole cross-country move thing, but I do have I'll have episodes for the rest of the Fridays in July for sure, and that'll be some author interviews as well as book reviews. And there's a good mix. I'm really excited about kind of like the mix of books that are coming out this month for our podcast.
I follow her across platforms. When I saw it, I was like, she is the book club. She is this. Like, you're a very busy person, which is why I was like, make sure you mention what you're working on, because there is stuff going on. I was like, you always have, I feel like, something in the works. There's always something else to be announced. There's always something else, coming up that all of a sudden is on the horizon. So congratulations on the book club. I mean, I'm going to have to add that to my own personal calendar.
Yeah, join. And I'm super excited with the book we're doing this month. It's the latest from Candy Steiner, who I actually interviewed for the podcast, and she's one of the sweetest people in the world. But the book is called Make Me Hate You, I believe. It's like fresh off the presses, super cute. I'm really excited to read it, and her writing is fire. So I hope y'all join us.
I was like, there's so many things, to keep track of. So if you guys are interested in romance, we have now all the cozy stuff going on. I'm like, again, yeah, we need a calendar. Like, we need to keep track of all this info.
It's true. It's true.
So did you have any final thoughts about the book or something you wanted to share?
Me?
Yeah, anything you want to mention before we
heard enough from me?
going to say, you commenter, our lovely sleuthing family over here, if someone has any final thoughts, questions, queries, anything, now is the time, because apparently my voice is like, you can probably hear it. I'm like, oh, wait a second, I've been talking so long. This is like the life of the introvert. Like when you start talking, you're like, wait a second, I'm not used to using my vocal cords.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. Well, and honestly, I'm broadcasting from my hotel room right now, and we're probably going to go explore dinner options after this. So I'm who knows from here. But no, this was so fun. And I mean, as much of a romance reader as I am, I love breaking up my reading with other things. So I mean, this month it's been a lot of anti-racist literature, and it's been chocolate chip cookie murder mixed in with that. So it's been a really diverse reading list for June. And I'm glad I had this one because it definitely lightens it up for sure. So thank you for that.
That's I feel like that's one of the beauties of cozy mysteries. I love the puns. You get the fun, quirky, small town characters. I mean, I'm doing my research. I have my communication theory that's translated from German from the 1800s, and my eyes are falling out where I'm going like, what is going on? And then I got to marry Hannah, so it was great. Like that is, again, this is what I mean when you're like, hey, I've been working till 6. Now this is my relaxing time. Like it is what it is.
Recharge, breathe.
I'm so happy and I'm so honored that you joined me tonight, and I'm so appreciative of everyone who tuned in and read the book and commented. Like, you guys make my heart so happy. Like, you make me melt. It's so sweet. Oh,
this
so
is the break from driving for hours, days.
You're so sweet. I'm so happy that we were able to do this tonight. And again, the last Tuesday of the month for me is like Cozy Mystery Day. Like I mark it out on my calendar. Like literally the last Tuesday of the month is just all about cozy mysteries. And I'm like, I now look forward to the last Tuesday of the month. Like, I've been looking forward to the last Tuesday of the month since the first, like the beginning, the first week. And like, I think it was June 2nd. I'm like, wait, when is the last day in June?
Yes.
So I've been looking forward to this, and you guys made it totally worth it. The book was great. You were great. And I love our Cozy Mystery Book Club. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. You guys really are the best. And, please be on the lookout for all that giveaway info, because I want you guys to win, because you guys, first of all, are winners, and you deserve more Cozy Mystery goodness in your lives. All the cozy goodness.
Yes. True dat. Yeah.
So I think I was like, before my voice kicks out, I think it's time to say goodnight. I mean, you guys are so sweet, and thank you for joining. And obviously, we'll be talking to you guys over on Instagram and Twitter. And obviously, next month is the Aurora Tea Garden. So more Cozy Mystery goodness on the horizon.
Ooh, thank you, guys.
Bye, everyone. And I think